Hi, my name is Katie. I recently have lost just under 90 pounds, like 86 pounds-ish. And I have maintained that weight loss now for a year, and I've started working on like recomposition and stuff like that, and that has been also difficult. But I just wanted to like come on here and yap a little bit about the experiences that I've had like since losing that amount of weight and being 5 feet tall, which obviously like every pound the shorter you are makes a difference. So it's been a journey, it's been crazy, and it's been a lot of like self-reflection the past couple of days. So this is just going to be me yapping. I do have ADHD and it is unmedicated, so full disclaimer, I will probably be kind of all over the place. Usually I'm able to find my way back into what I was originally talking about, but sometimes I just don't. So I apologize in advance if I do that. I don't want to be on ADHD medication, so that's just how it has to be. So I was diagnosed with PCOS when I was 19, but I did have to kind of fight to get the diagnosis. I knew that I had it way like years before that. I don't know what it was that took so long. I think now it's a little bit easier to get diagnosed if you think you have it, but for me, it took me a really long time. And then just finding somebody that would take me seriously. Actually, the first practitioner that took me seriously was a midwife, and she was the one who like diagnosed me. And then after that, I had the diagnosis, so I was able to take it with me to other professionals, and they just believed whatever I said. Like there was not really a lot of further testing done, which is crazy. But I had like cysts rupturing, abnormal periods, weird hair growth, acne, hair loss, all other things. So safe to say that I had it. And then eventually it did turn into prediabetes, significant insulin resistance. And I did get put on metformin for that. I was on metformin for years, but it was 800 milligrams, I believe. And apparently that's not even a therapeutic dose for somebody with PCOS. I think it's like 2,000 milligrams or something crazy high. And I did get on 2,000 milligrams for a little bit, but it was at the same time that I started my GLP-1. So I can't say for certain if that helped because it was around the same time. And from the first shot of my GLP-1, I noticed big differences in just me as a person and the way that I felt around eating and all of that. So I can't say for sure if metformin actually helped, but maybe it would now. I don't know. It has now been 2 years since I started the GLP-1, and I'm no longer considered pre-diabetic, no longer considered insulin resistant. Do I still struggle with PCOS symptoms? Yes, but it's not like an everyday uphill battle in the same way that it used to be. Like I have good days and bad days now, whereas every day used to be a bad day. Now it's kind of like, just kind of depends where I'm at in my cycle. But it's nowhere near like every single day is terrible, like the way that it used to be. And I will get into that a little bit more. This is probably where I should like put in a mental health trigger warning because my mental health was really bad. So if you're not in a space where you can hear about really bad mental health, then I would definitely go away now. I have gotten a lot of questions about GLP-1s, about weight loss, about PCOS, just in my, regular life. People who didn't know me before asked me a lot of questions about weight loss whenever I say like, yeah, I lost almost 90 pounds. Like people are shocked to believe that. Like people who are considering getting on GLP-1s tend to call me or ask me things, and because I'm very open about it, like I'm not trying to hide that I had to use a GLP-1. So I'm going to talk a little bit about eating disorders now. So again, trigger warning for that. But I believe close to 80% of people with PCOS end up with some form of an eating disorder, whether it be anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder. For me, it was binge eating disorder. So what I believe caused binge eating disorder for me was insane, like years and years and years of restriction that finally just boiled over to the point where I couldn't control it anymore, and it turned into binge eating disorder. So I would do all of the things they tell you to do for PCOS. I would eat low carb. I went vegetarian for a while, was a low carb vegetarian, which is way harder than it sounds. Like it's so hard to be low carb and vegetarian. And when I did start eating meat again, I would do like keto, I did paleo, I did Atkins, I did, what's the other one? Whole30. I did so many different diets, and I wouldn't just do these diets for a couple weeks. I would stick to one diet for at least 3 months. And if I didn't see anything changing after 3 months, then I would move on. And I was also exercising, I would say to the point of overexertion during these time periods. The closest that I ever got was when I was breastfeeding. I don't know what that did to me hormonally, but I was able to lose weight while I was breastfeeding. But other than that, not even a little bit. I would lose maybe 5 to 10 pounds, and that would be it entirely. So I started restricting. I started going lower and lower and lower in my calorie range, and I would see a little bit of a difference, not a lot. I would go on to calorie calculator websites, obsess over the numbers. I started weighing food, and I'm not just talking about like weighing out a portion of something. If I was having 2 chips, I would weigh the 2 chips out and count the calories from that. And that's just not something that like normal people should do. And I didn't realize how unhealthy it was. I just thought like, I'm sick. I have a disease. There's something wrong with me where I cannot lose weight. And I need to do something. And clearly none of these diets that everyone says is supposed to work. I tried liquid diets. I tried just like the worst possible things that you can imagine. It was just bad. It was bad. I was on, forums for eating disorders, and I was participating, and I was very active in those communities while being overweight. So that just goes to show you that like people who are overweight absolutely can and probably do have eating disorders. I for sure did. It was such an obsession. It got so bad, and the insulin resistance doesn't help because it causes you to have more cravings, and it just turned like it got to the point where the restricting, like I was starving myself, and my body couldn't take it anymore. And I started binging at night in particular, or like when I was home alone. And it didn't cause any weight gain, but it definitely didn't help me lose anything. Like I was still around the same amount of weight that I had gotten to with the insulin resistance, with all the dieting, with all the exercising. And when I say over exercising, it was like I was going for multiple walks every day, strength training, doing 2 to 3 workout videos every day, hitting over 20,000 steps, which I can't even like get close to anymore. I went to Disneyland and I hit 20,000 steps, and that took 8 hours. I don't know how the hell I did that. I was out all day. It helped that I was a stay-at-home mom and I was able to go out and just walk and push the stroller all day. And in my like fucked up brain, I was like, okay, pushing the stroller is going to burn more calories, so I'll lose more weight. And the breastfeeding, like I said, helped. I got down to about 160 pounds. And then I stopped breastfeeding and like just shot straight back up to 200. Like it was like my PCOS is a metabolic disorder, and I just wasn't like finding doctors who were willing to help me with that. Anyway, I ended up having to switch doctors because mine quit doing the practice. He's doing like Botox and stuff now. He quit doing gynecology. And the doctor that they gave me to saved my life, 100%. I, like I said, was fighting, binging, restricting, doing all the things. And she had asked me, like, have you ever tried a GLP-1? And I was like, well, my doctor had suggested it, but the prior authorization never went through. And, insurance won't cover it. And it's like $1,000 a month. Like, I can't afford it. And she was like, I will fight for you. I have written 16 prior authorizations for one patient. Like, we're going to make it happen. There's a bunch of different GLP-1s. Like, what do you want to do? And at that time, I was like talking about getting pregnant. The whole reason why I kept going to the gynecologist at this point is because I needed a pap smear to get the ball rolling on like just making sure everything was all good for a second pregnancy. And my first pregnancy was really, really terrible, though. Like, it could have been worse. But I just really struggled with pain and depression and all the things during that pregnancy. So we were talking about it. It wasn't set in stone. And she said, well, you can't be on a GLP-1, obviously, while you're pregnant. So make a decision, talk about it, go home, think about it, do some research, and then send me an email. And I will send in the prescription for you, and we could probably get it for you within like 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, like if you think my insurance will cover it. So anyway, we go home, we talk about it. I feel like my pregnancy might have actually been more traumatic for my husband because he is terrified. He's so scared of what I'm going to be going through. I'm going to cry because it was really bad. The depression was really bad, and it was probably really hard to watch. Like, I obviously was in it, and he had to witness it and like take care of me through all of that. And he truly, like, couldn't have asked for a better partner through that. But he was like, what if it helps? What if weight loss helps and you get pregnant and it's not as bad next time? And yeah, probably, because a lot of the pain that I was having was like joint pain, and a lot of it was from being already obese, I think, and then gaining more weight on top of like already being obese. I think like I couldn't get off the toilet sometimes. I bought a bidet that year when I was 9 months pregnant because I couldn't wipe my own ass. Like, it was so bad. And he was right. And I, you know, had looked into the side effects of it, and I at the time was terrified of vomiting. I don't think I had the phobia of vomiting because I could be around other people throwing up. It was just anytime I was going to throw up, I would have a panic attack. And I was scared of throwing up. But I figured, like, if it works after everything that I've been through, and at this time, I was still restricting and binging. So I still had eating disorder brain fully on my mind. And the only thing that I cared about was getting underweight, really. I was so far gone in eating disorder brain. Like, it was really, really bad. And anyway, I decided to do it. I decided whatever about having another kid, like, it can wait another year. There can be a bigger age gap because it might help my pregnancy, and it might make it easier to get pregnant too. Like, I have PCOS, and they say the number one thing you can do for it is lose weight, but then they fail to tell you it's impossible to lose weight because this is a metabolic disorder and like endocrine disorder, which is a whole other video, dude. I've already been talking for 13 minutes, but I can get into how fucked they treat people with PCOS. Like, I could talk for 2 hours about that. But anyway, we decided to get on it, and I ended up getting the prescription like in my hands within 2 days after I told this new doctor that I wanted it. I don't know how she did it because, like I said, I'd tried before and my insurance denied it, and I ended up not even having a copay. Like, it was so how it was meant to be. It was just meant to be that way because it was just meant to be that way. If I had gotten on it at the time when we first tried, I would have ended up pregnant with my daughter and had to get off of it anyway. So it really like worked out. So we get the shot, and I think I decided to wait a day or two because I was scared. I was scared of throwing up. I was scared of doing a shot on myself. I had never done a shot on myself ever. So yeah, but I did it like I think the next day, or maybe it was like a Saturday or a Sunday, I don't know, on the weekend. And because at that time my husband's weekends were like Mondays and Tuesdays or something like that, so I figured if I was gonna have bad side effects, at least he'd be home to take care of our daughter. It didn't do anything. Like, the first day I noticed a difference in the eating stuff. Like, I for sure started immediately like getting fuller quicker and not thinking about food as often right away. It took 3 days before I started getting side effects, and I did throw up, and I had to like email my doctor at like 10:30 at night, like from the bathroom floor, like, please, can I get a Zofran prescription? We went and picked that up as soon as the pharmacy was open. Like, I've kind of just been on Zofran ever since. I do still get nauseous, but I don't vomit anymore, so that's nice. But that's probably very largely due to the fact that anytime I get to that point where I'm like, okay, I might throw up, I just take a Zofran and then I'm fine. So, and I will also mention my specific medication is semaglutide, not tirzepatide. Apparently tirzepatide has less vomiting involved with it. I don't know. I've never been on it, but that's what I've read. And anyway, threw up a couple times, was nauseous, had pretty bad fatigue, had some hair loss. But all of those side effects were so worth it to me because I was like rapidly dropping weight. Mind you, my diet was staying the same. I was exercising less because of the fatigue, yet still losing weight. And I don't know how to really explain this. It stopped me from binge eating, and it stopped me from restricting too, though. I completely stopped counting calories. I completely stopped weighing food. I was able to like heal that part of my brain, which like some days are better than others in that department, but I was able to stop doing all of these really destructive, like self-hatred behaviors that I was doing prior to getting on the GLP-1. And it was like living a whole new life. I don't know how to explain it. I was suffering from like such debilitating intense depression that I didn't even realize how terrible I was feeling about myself and my life. And I truly do believe that if I had to go another 5 years in that mental state, I would probably not be alive today telling you this story. So I can truly say, like, that doctor that I like accidentally got switched to, and the GLP-1 saved my life. I don't know what the, sewer slide, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but I don't know what the rates of that are with PCOS. I'll put it on the screen. I'll do some research and I'll put it on the screen or put it in the description or something. But I'm sure it's not that low. Like, I feel like it's just so, again, I could talk about that for an hour. It's just so understudied and people don't give a fuck about it. But it's serious, dude, and it fucked me up. I was messed up. And anyway, going from that sort of headspace where I was like fully prepared to just die. Like, I didn't care anymore about anything. I was trying so hard, and it just felt like, for what? What am I trying for? There's not, like, what? Nothing's changing. Who cares? And going from that to caring and, like, being happy to, like, wake up every day and being happy to, like, go out, being happy. Like, I wasn't even leaving my house, and I still don't really leave my house, don't get me wrong. But now when I do, I'm excited to do it. And it's not, like, a nightmare of, like, oh, I don't want to go out because then people are going to look at me. And, like, it just, or I don't care. Like, I don't want to hang out with people. I don't, like, my confidence levels have drastically improved to the point where I worry now that I'm overconfident and that I'm scaring people off because of that. Like, it used to be like, everyone hates you, everyone hates you, everyone hates you, everyone hates you. And yeah, I still definitely think everyone hates me, like, all the time, but it's for different reasons. Now it's like, did I come on too strongly? Am I too much myself? Am I too, like, being too authentically me, which I am crazy. Like, I am for sure a lot, like, but totally different reasoning behind it, and I can honestly say that I would not be at that point without being on Wegovy for so long. If you have been following me at all, which I now have 21 subscribers, which is awesome, but if you have, then you know that I did get not kicked off of my insurance, but they decided to stop covering the Wegovy, and I talked to my doctor about it, and she was like, no, you need to be on this, you need to stay on it. And at this point, I'm not losing any more weight. I'm completely maintaining, like, I'm not gaining or losing beyond, like, the couple of pounds before and after my period, But she's like, you need to stay on it for maintenance. Like, I don't think that you should go off of it. And I do agree with that, because on days where I'm late for the shot, or, like, I wait too long to do it, I can tell. And I start feeling the effects of insulin resistance again. I start feeling the effects of, like, PCOS again. And so I do believe that it is going to be, like, a forever drug for me. And that's not the case for everybody, but for me, that is, like, that's what I think. I do have to go off of it soon because I'm planning on getting pregnant. So I'll keep you updated on, like, how I feel during pregnancy and while breastfeeding and stuff like that. But as of right now, I do believe that it's something that I need. So I started going the compounded route, which is a whole other nightmare right now. Not because of the medication, but because of the company that I went through, which was great at first, but now, like, I literally have to find somewhere else. But anyway, the compounded one, for the first couple of weeks, I think there was just kind of an adjustment period where the dose wasn't totally perfect. And now that I'm, like, back up to the dose where I feel like is the most beneficial, I'm doing really well. And, like, no side effects really. I do still get nauseous sometimes, but I was always a nauseous person prior to getting on a GLP-1. So I don't know if it's because of just the way that I am. Like, I have IBS. So nausea is no stranger to this household. So let's kind of go into, like, I've talked about the mental health aspect of it and just how, like, I just don't think I'd be here. I really don't think I'd be here if I was still struggling in the same way that I was, like, prior to getting on it. But that in and of itself made it worth it for me. Even if I hadn't lost any weight, the mental health benefits of being on this drug would be worth it for me to stay on it. And, like, I've been on Prozac, I've been on Wellbutrin, I've been on Zoloft, I've been on a lot of antidepressants, and, like, yeah, I'm alive, and I will thank particularly Prozac for saving my life on multiple occasions, but, like, nothing anywhere near this. Like, I'm not on any antidepressants right now because I don't think I need them anymore, and I'm happy to be alive, and, like, I've never been in a space, never, like, really, truly never, where I feel, like, happy to exist, and, like, yeah, the planet's dying, and everything sucks politically, and, like, it's very hard to afford to live, and all of that, but I'm still happy, and that's crazy. That's fucking wild. And I'm just happy to be where I'm at. I'm just very like thankful, and I'm able to feel gratitude in ways that I never did before. Like gratitude for my friends, gratitude for my family, even though they're crazy, gratitude for my living situation, even though that's also crazy, gratitude for like my shitty car that keeps breaking down, I keep having to like pour money into. Like, I am just still happy. Like, I have a car, I have a life, I have a family, I have a house. Like, it's no, like a couple years ago, no, that's not how I felt at all. And it's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, really. Like, PCOS sucks, and having to go through something like that pretty much by yourself sucks. I didn't at the time have any friends who also have PCOS. Now I do. So it's nice to have like a support system for sure, and to be able to be people's support systems as well because of everything that I've been through. Like, I'm glad that I'm able to help people. That's why I started this channel, is to help people who might have been feeling the way that I felt, 2 years ago. But anyway, the other differences is like, I there are still things with my body that I'm insecure about, which I don't think will ever change, but it's not like self-hatred. It's just insecurity, and it's okay. And I accept it. I'm insecure about it, but I accept it. And I'm doing what I can to change the things that I can. But, there's stuff that I can't change, and that's okay. And it's no longer like an uphill battle every day. I don't feel like I'm constantly fighting myself or my insulin or my whatever. I'm not fighting something that's invisible that nobody else can see. And it's great. It's been so great and so nice, and I'm very happy to be where I'm at. Another question that I get asked is like, do people treat you differently now? Does your husband treat you differently? Do your friends treat you differently? And I don't think so. I think I treat people differently, which kind of leads into the whole, like, now I'm insecure that I come on too strongly, or I'm too, like, I say things with too much confidence that might come off like rude, and I'm working on that. I don't think about it till after the fact, but I'm trying to do better with that. But it's like such a 180 from just being insecure to even talk to now being insecure that I talk too much and that I'm like too overbearing. So working on that. I don't know. I'll talk about it with my therapist. I don't think that I'm being treated differently by anybody. I have a pretty solid like friend group, and the people that I choose to surround myself with are solid people. And I think that even if I gained all the weight back, they would still treat me the same. I love my friends, and, I don't think any of them treat me differently. I don't really talk to a lot of my family, but none of them really treat me differently either. At first, maybe there was a little bit of judgment on just being on a GLP-1, but again, I can't force you to understand metabolic disorders. I can't force you to know what I've been through as far as like eating disorders and things like that. And I'm just choosing to ignore those people who are trying to tell me that, GLP-1 was the easy way out, and why, if I've lost the weight, why am I still on it? I do get asked that type of stuff, but like, again, it's not my problem to worry about what you think about it, and I'm perfectly content with you worrying about me. That's fine. I'm not worrying about you. So there is the like vanity stuff that comes with weight loss, like having to get rid of almost all my clothes, having to go buy new stuff. Being able to try on anything at a store is a whole different experience. Being able to like shop at thrift stores and not worry if they're gonna have like plus size stuff. There are things vanity wise that do feel really good, but it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. I used to write, like, when I was in the midst of eating disorder land, I used to write lists of all the things that are going to be so awesome when I lose the weight, and, like, to motivate myself to continue to starve myself, basically. And one of the things was, like, being able to try stuff on at stores, being able to order clothes online and know what size you are, which I still don't. I still don't know what size I am. Girl pants, in particular, suck. Sizing sucks all across the board. Doesn't matter if you're a small or a 2XL. It doesn't matter. But all those things that I thought would be like so great and like life-changing are just kind of like how life is now, and it's not anything to like celebrate. It's just that's how it is now. And I think the biggest celebration is truly the mental health, like just where I'm at with myself. A lot of people, like, I watched a lot of weight loss videos on YouTube, and people are like, you can't until you love yourself. You can't, like, And that I truly like hated myself until I got down to like 160 is when I started to be like, okay, I'm actually like doing something here. And I would never have been able to have loved myself if I didn't get the PCOS under control. So I think obviously it's different for everybody, but for me, like that was my only option in order to love myself, was to get the insulin resistance and PCOS under control. And now I'm at a point where I can say that I totally do love myself. I love who I am. I love everything that I've been through, good and bad, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if not for that. And, you know, back then, it was like looking in the mirror and being like, you're fucking disgusting and you're a stupid piece of shit and I hate you. And like, that was the self-talk constantly, always. There wasn't like a second out of any day where that's not what was going through my brain. And now I would never say that to her. Are you kidding? Like, she's so great. She's gotten me through so much. And like, it's just wild. Like, a level of like maturing, I think, that happened. I don't know if it's maturing or just like, again, getting my synapses like firing somewhat properly. Again, the ADHD. But like, it's just, I'm so much better off. And like, if anyone like does have a problem with that, then we're not meant to be friends, I guess. Like I said, I do fear I come on too strongly, but like, if you can't handle that, then why are you talking to me? Like, go away. Like, I am no longer, I don't feel like I'm fighting to like keep relationships with people anymore. It's like, I don't care, like, stick around or not, like, let's be best friends or let's not. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me anymore. And it's, I don't know if that even, any of this makes any sense, but I wanted to just have a discussion about the things that have changed like within me that aren't physical and like purely vanity related. Like, I can say right now, I don't have binge eating disorder anymore. I've not binged in I don't even know how long. And like, yeah, I have days where I eat more than I did the day before or whatever, but it's not the end of the world. There's no more guilt associated with food like there used to be. Like, debilitating guilt, okay? Like, just like, okay, well, I ate this, so now I have to walk 10 miles to burn it off, you know, type stuff. Now it's like, whatever, you ate a little bit more than you do normally, like, well, it'll even out. It evens itself out. And like, tomorrow I might not eat as much, and it's not going to be on purpose. It might just be because I'm busy. And then the day after I'll eat more. And it's like, not, it's just, it's, I don't think I have any more eating disorder tendencies, qualities, or anything like that. I think that I'm good. I'm not thinking in the same obsessive way. And I know that like GLP-1s for sure are being used to feed your eating disorder. Like, I know that that is a thing that people are doing. For me, it was medically necessary. I cannot speak for everybody. And I do believe that it cured my eating disorder, cured my depression. Can't really cure PCOS, but I feel like 100 times better than I ever have as far as that goes. Like, my periods are all relatively normal. There are times where they're late and early or whatever, but that's normal for everybody. I'm no longer bleeding for 3 to 6 months straight. I'm no longer not bleeding for 3 to 6 months straight or over a year or however long. I don't even know the longest that I went without a period. All of those things are like totally solved. Problems totally solved. So I think that that's all I have to say today. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about the things that have changed for me that aren't purely like physical or vanity or whatever. And the mental health, like I said, I need to stay on this medicine. Like, when I found out my insurance was going to quit covering it, I cried because I just thought about going back to that mental headspace. I wasn't thinking about the weight gain that may or may not happen if I got off of the GLP-1. I was thinking about, okay, so I'm gonna, you know, myself. Like, I cannot go through that again, like, literally ever. So, like, I just don't think I have it in me to go through that again. Like, after seeing what's on the other side, you know, I don't think I could do it again. So, but anyway, that is the TLDR for this one. Well, that is the long story of the short story, I guess. And I hope that if you're watching this and you can relate, like, leave a comment. I love to hear other people's experiences, especially if you have PCOS. If you're thinking about getting on a GLP-1, like, let me know what your questions are, like, happy to answer. And subscribe so that I can get monetized. And when I get monetized, not if, but when, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I don't know what yet. But once we hit, I think it's 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway of something, and it's going to be awesome. So make sure you do that and come back and all of that. And I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.